And, as Rian would say, this is Sam's commentary voice. Monotone. This is the last time a Fiat Panda will run on the 965cc carb engine. Okay, an update on the placement of the 899 engine in the Fiat Panda. We're making some good progress. We've got the engine in now. Yes, I'm aware that it needs a damn good jet wash near, but I don't care at the moment. I just want to get it running. One of the biggest issues at the moment actually was nothing to do with the gearbox, was nothing to do with the engine mounts. Probably wasn't to do with the wiring, it's actually plumbing. So we've got the old Panda radiator and we have the thermostat. Now if we go over and look at the old thermostat, it comes out at a 90-degree angle to the engine. So you can kind of get a cooling hose on there. So I've somehow got to get from here to here. We've got the starter motor and alternator wired up. Clutch is working, so we had to replace the oil pressure switch, which we've done. So now we're at the plumbing stage. Put manifold on and it should start up, and well, it won't start up, it should turn over and not start. After this is done, we've got the wiring, which is going to be the real fun bit. So I'll update you later. Thank you for watching. Okay, so we've got all the cooling piping in now. Not an ideal solution. So that drops down into there. This loops round, goes into the heater matrix, comes round, loops back into there, goes around the throttle body. Throttle body goes back down to the side of the thermostat. It links down to the water pump. Start motor's all plumbed in now. Temperature sensor. Oil pressure, lambda sensors plugged in. Oh shit, what does that go to? That's a good point. Need to plumb out into something. ECU's in place, and it's pretty much wired up, to be honest with you. Map sensor, relays. So we're almost there. We've got a throttle linkage to sort out because the pipes differ, but we're making good progress. Okay, we're working through unclipping this loom slowly. These were on the top left hand side next to the battery. These cut wires over here are the wing indicators. I'm just going to cut these next because these are just purely indicators and lights. You can see here the rest of it. So this comes round and goes underneath the back of the engine bay. We've unclipped it all. This harness was the ECU side. So again, this one here, lights, horn, what do you here? Focus, horn. There are 3 yellow connectors down here. Oh, you bugger. Okay, I'll get those a different time. Those are for the rheostat. We have one here for coolant temperature sensor. That'll be an interesting one when you see it's been scotch locked. Excuse me. I think that's purely a voltage feed for a high speed, low speed fan unit. I don't think that goes to the ECU. The ECU temperature sensor is in the thermostat housing, and the gauge temperature is off the back left hand side of the block. Okay, I'm going to do some more jostling and get this off. Okay, so I've discovered what these wires are. Yes, one is indicators, but in fact we have parts. I'm just going to chop them. This is Fiat Panda. We're starting the Chinky to Fiat Panda 899 to 965 transference, and one of the things we've got to do is get the code box off. So the code box lives behind the fuse box. You won't be able to see it because it's a bit of a mess at the moment, but basically you unscrew it, you can pull the fuse box out, and then it's held in by two clips. So that's the code box. There'll be two inputs to that. One of the inputs will be the key reader, and the key reader sits around the ignition. When you see the ignition's there, and it sits around there and routes around the back and plugs into the code box. There'll be a second feed, and we can see it's illustrated here, and this will tie into the dash for the code light, and probably the wiring loom, and unfortunately it's a bit more complicated than I actually expected it to be. So I may have to seek some advice on how to get this running with the ECU. So we follow this one back. We can see that the yellow and white wire goes back into the harness, and I've pulled all the fuse box out and up to aid access. We can see that the white and yellow wire goes into the ISO plug that connects to the dash. We can see it's a second from the right. So that's a nice easy one for us to follow. The next one we've got is a orange wire. We see that disappears into the harness again. And we can see now goes into a connector, and this one, okay, I'll double check this one. It seems like it's a multi-connector, but this one connects a blue back to the ISO connection again. We have a blue and black, and this one goes again back into a ISO connection. These go into the side of a dash. Then we have a blue and a white, and that disappears off into the wiring loom. So yay, we have even more colours to chase now. So that's for blue, sorry, yellow and orange. The green one disappears into the engine bay loom. And now we've got two left. We have the red and a black and purple. Purple first, sorry for the shaky footage. Okay, the black and purple goes into the engine bay loom. And finally the red. Where does the red go? A somewhat convoluted route it would appear. There are many reds. Who would have thought a Fiat had so many wires? And then the red goes into the loom. So what we're going to have to do they pop out. So I shall continue. I would do a guide on how to remove the engine, but I've already done that, and to be honest with you, it's pretty simple. If you're going to split it from a gearbox in the car, which you can do, you're going to need to take this out from the underside of the vehicle because there's not enough space on the top. We checked, and the engine mounts tie up into the engine bay of the Chinko. Okay, there was also a additional blue wire which looped back round and went into the fuse box and went into the indicators. Okay, so we're getting there slowly. So we have a code box. And of interest, we have red, we have black and purple, and we have white and green. Red goes to a permanent live, so that links into the harness. And that didn't go into the engine bay compartment, cabin. It disappears across off. We can see it's there. And that links across into this plug, which links across into the permanent 12. So it's good news, we know where that goes. We've got our blue and purple done, and blue and purple disappear off to the ECU, and then we've got our orange and white and red. I've been told that orange is ignition, so it's 12 ignition wire, and the red and white is a switched earth, so we run a permanent 12 to an LED, then have that plug into there, so that deals with that. We've got green, which goes off to the fuel pump. It's a fused feed, so I suspect that disappeared off to the top of the fuse box, and then onwards to the fuel pump. Now the difficult part is the orange and white and the yellow. You can see orange and white. I don't know why I've got that one on there. They go off to these connectors which went into the dash. I'm going to probably presume they're not critical. I fucking hope not. So we're getting there slowly. Okay, we're dealing now with the code box and the two outputs that we've got. And I've had a look, and we have a yellow and white, and a yellow and white feeds into the bottom switch, and the bottom switch is pin 2, and pin 2 goes into here, which I'm going to presume is the code light. So that's the yellow and white, and then we have the orange, quite thick orange wire, and the orange wire turns into two blue and black. So if we follow blue and black goes to, focus, pin 3. So if we count 3, 3 goes to a code wire. So it's like perhaps a shared earth. And if we look at the second blue and white, once again that goes to pin 3. And pin 3 goes to there. Then comes to the bottom. And it looks like it earths all 3 and then goes to that. So I suppose to confirm this later on, we can run and check voltage, I suppose, and if we have a switched 12 on ignition, we know that these are live, and if we have a switched earth on ignition, we know it's earthing them rather than powering them. So red plug top, white plug bottom, white plug pin 3, pin 2, pin 2 goes to the bulb, pin 2 to pin 3 goes to blue. So whatever happens, we've got a bulb, so we'll just do it that way. Okay, some rather sketchy video because the autofocus on his camera is now dead. Thanks to Steve and a wiring diagram he found me. I'll probably recapture this video, but the orange out of the code box was actually ignition live. Without that, we weren't getting any kind of fuel pump prime or anything yesterday. The white and yellow should be the code light. You can't see that because it's crap. We put coolant in it. We'll try and prime it now. Ow. This is going to be very loud because the fuel pump's very loud and the exhaust isn't connected. Okay, oh, don't panic. We forgot to connect the negative. So, hopefully, we should get fuel pump. Can you see the bottom one? Yep. Right, we do have a problem. Okay, the engine isn't turning off with the ignition, so woohoo, she started, but we've got to find out why it's not turning off when there's no ignition. So that's a bit of a worry. Fiat Panda start. Ignition on, fuel pump prime. Success.